What's up, guys? Welcome to Keeping It Kosher. I'm Chef Elon.
And I'm Chef Tolan, and we're both the executive chefs for Madison and Park Hospitality Group, your premier destination for kosher catering. Today we're going to be making what's my personal favorite dish growing up is pelmeni, or aka Russian-style dumplings.
Yes, pelmeni are in the shape of tortellini, and they are incredibly delicious. They're extremely simple. They originally come from Siberia, and they were brought over from the Mongols, who took their inspiration from the Chinese, from their style of dumplings. They brought it to Siberia, and it became extremely popular among the hunters in Russia because it was very easy to freeze and it stayed fresh for a long time. So we're just going to get into the ingredients. We're going to make an unleavened dough. We're going to start with flour, a little bit of egg, some water, and then we're going to make that dough, and then we're going to stuff it with a chicken and onion stuffing, a little salt, a little black pepper. In Russia, it's usually made with pork and beef or chicken, whatever you have, whatever you want to use, but we like the chicken version.
You're right, and it's a kosher show, so we can't use pork.
That's right, we keep it kosher around here.
We keep it kosher.
So, right now we're going to start with the dough. Doesn't take a lot. We're going to start with 2.5 cups of flour. Now you're going to play with this because sometimes you'll need to add more flour, sometimes you'll need to add less flour. It depends, really.
What are they looking for?
They're looking for original, like in the beginning, the dough is going to be a little bit rough, but as it rests for 10 to 15 minutes, it's going to soften up. So we're just gonna add around 7 tablespoons of water. We might need to add more. Just gonna add that to the dough, and then about 1 teaspoon of salt. That's crucial.
That's a teaspoon?
That's a teaspoon.
It's big.
Yeah, it does. And then we're just gonna make a little well in the center. And add our, no thank you. Just gonna add our egg. And then we're just gonna get in there.
Yep, don't be afraid. Use your hands. It's always the best way to do it, because that's how grandma does it.
That's right. So it's gonna take a little bit of time for this dough to come together. If you need more water, add more water. It really depends on how it feels. But always start with less, just in case you put too much, because you don't want to put too much.
We're actually going to show you guys how to make this 2 different ways. The first way is just your classic boiled version. And the second way is after we boil it, we're going to pan fry them. And that's my personal favorite way to do it.
I didn't like this dish growing up because it was forced down my throat, but as I got older, I really started appreciating it and enjoying it.
Well, growing up, you didn't like anything. You didn't even like cookies. You didn't like cake. Mayonnaise.
I liked cookies. I just liked the soft ones.
You don't like burgers.
I still don't like burgers.
But as a child, he did like croque and pate, and he liked the lobster and all kinds of things that no regular 2-year-old should be eating.
That's right, because I was cooler than everybody else. Okay, so here we have about a rough dough, and we're just going to add a little bit more water just so it all comes together.
I got you, brother.
Thank you, Tom. And you want to knead this for like 5 minutes or so. Thank you. We don't need much, just a little bit. Put it on your hands. Just until the dough comes apart from the bowl. You can use both hands. It's good to keep one hand clean, but you know you can do it. I'm left-handed, so there you go. I'll be your left.
Ben Stiller and his people don't sue.
Yeah.
Kosher.
I'll be your left hand, Tom.
Thank you.
So the dough is just starting to come together, and just keep kneading. In the beginning, again, it's going to be a little bit rough, but as you keep kneading, it's going to get softer. Yeah, maybe even a little more water. Okay, so now we have a rough dough, and I would make pelmeni with this woman from Turkmenistan who would stand all day in a restaurant making them. She was really the best, and she once she formed the dough, then she said, let it rest a little bit, and she would wrap it in plastic and just let it come together, and then later she would keep kneading it. So we're just gonna wrap it.
My arch nemesis, plastic wrap.
That's it. Just gonna keep that in there.
Okay, I'm gonna move that off to the side.
Yes, and now I'm just gonna wash my hands quickly. We're gonna get started on the filling while that's resting. So we're gonna add our chicken and just give it a quick mush. And then we're gonna add the onion and salt and pepper, and that's it. Now you don't have to worry about the onion cooking or not, because when we boil it, it'll cook very, very quickly. That's the beauty of pelmeni, is they cook extremely fast.
And you can keep them in your freezer for a lifetime.
Yes. Maybe less than a lifetime, but definitely a long time.
Our onions nice and chopped. I might have actually made too much, so we're gonna take probably about half of that.
Yeah.
Throw it in there with our chicken.
Beautiful.
We'll use the rest of that for maybe a soup later on. Never throw away extra ingredients, because you can always put it in a pot and make a stew.
That's right. And onions are the heart and soul of most cuisines, but especially Russian cuisine. That's where all the flavor comes from. Onions. All right, we're just gonna season this quickly. Yeah.
Salt, pepper. Pepper?
Yes. Thank you. Okay.
We'll mix that up.
And that's it. That's all there is to it.
So we're gonna cover that up. And then the fun part begins. Or we're gonna start rolling out our dough. Move that off to the side. Alright, now since our dough's been resting about 10 minutes now, what we're gonna do is knead it again and get it ready for the final rollout. So first I'm just gonna move all this stuff out of the way, because you're gonna need a lot of surface area. And we're also gonna need more flour.
Yes, we will. So right now I think we're okay. So I'm just gonna knead this for just a little bit, and as I'm kneading it, it's already feeling a lot softer, and that's from the resting. Like gluten is relaxing. What you really want to do is you want to push down and then roll it onto itself. And use the heel of your hand.
Look at that. It's like you're dancing with the dough. Look at that.
Okay, I'm just gonna wrap that back up and let that rest for another 5 to 10 minutes. And then we'll be ready to knead it out. Okay, so the dough has been resting, and we're just gonna...
It's a very sleepy dough.
Yes, it is a very... Yes. So we're just gonna check how soft that is. What do you think? It's pretty soft. It was very nice.
That's nice.
We'll give it a little more if you feel like it. Okay, now we're gonna just cut it into manageable pieces. This 4 is good. Okay, and you want to keep that covered. When you're not working with it, you want to keep it covered. So we're just gonna put a little bit of flour on the work surface, not too much, but just enough so that, it doesn't stick.
Same thing with the pan, just doing this a little bit.
Yeah, and then...
We decided to not use parchment paper.
Yes. And then a little bit on the rolling pin, just lube it up a little bit. Okay, now we're just gonna
Move this a little bit out of your way.
flatten it a little bit, and then we're just gonna roll it out. And we want it fairly thin. You know, every so often we'll turn, add a little flour to the top. You can use a pasta machine for this, but I think it tastes better
Yeah.
by hand.
I feel like the more work you put into a dish, the better it's gonna taste.
I agree.
Effort is delicious.
Indeed it is.
Do you like doing pastry in general?
It depends. If I have patience that day, then yes,
Yeah, I agree.
which is very rare.
I agree.
So, no.
Pastry causes me a stress for real because like everything in baking, it's more like a science than it is cooking.
That's right.
Like everything has to be the exact right measure, otherwise if it's altered, you get something a little bit different. But that's why I like cooking more because there's a little room to play. You know, if you make a mistake, you can always fix it.
That's right. That's the best part.
In baking, there's no mistakes.
No, there are no mistakes. You can't redo anything. You can add more sugar to things, but that won't help you. Okay, so we're almost getting there. We want it a little bit thicker. We want to be able to see our fingers through the dough. So we're not quite there yet. Just gonna keep going a little bit.
And since it's gonna take a little bit, you want to have your water already boiling off to the side.
Yes, you do. Just a little bit of flour. I'm gonna keep going. Now, it doesn't matter if this is uniform because we're just gonna use a ring mold to cut it out, cut out the pieces. But the important part is that it is thin. Let's see if we can see our fingers.
Can you see mine?
Nope. A little bit more. It's wearing thin. No, I'm just kidding. It's good. They probably used wine bottles, which you can use. Yeah, which you can use if you don't have a rolling pin. You can use a wine bottle. Everything in cooking is about adaptability. Okay, that's just about done. So now we're just gonna cut out. Yeah, go ahead. And our water boiling, beautiful. Yeah, get in there. Beautiful. Nice.
Sorry, I don't know why it's funny. You're just standing off to the side there saying nice. That's what I do to you.
Yeah.
So now I know how it feels.
How does it feel?
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it.
I just like that it's a perfect circle. You know?
I know. I can never do that by hand. Like with a knife.
I'm sure you could. Now for this excess dough, you're not going to throw this away. You're actually going to put it back together and then you're going to re-roll that.
While he's doing that, just put these on our tray. Make sure you just dust it a little bit, otherwise it's going to stick if you're not using parchment paper. I know I said that before, but you don't want to deal with sticky dough. Another little secret in baking in general is you want to keep everything really cold. So if you're planning on baking that day, like take your tray and leave it in the freezer because these pans and everything in general, like when you're working, there's a lot of body heat. Things start to melt and get hot really fast. So try to keep everything as cold as possible.
That's right.
So like while he is rolling out more, I would put this in the fridge, just to keep it from sticking. So I think we're just gonna make a little bit of more.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we'll be ready to turn those babies into pelmeni. All right, now what we're gonna do is start making our pelmeni. So the first thing we're gonna do is start filling them up.
Yes, it takes a little bit of practice in the beginning, but once you get the idea, it's actually very simple. So I think that's a little too much.
I won't put the whole thing.
Okay. So you don't want to overstuff it, but you definitely want there to be enough stuffing. See, this is okay. And now all we're gonna do is we're gonna dip our finger in some water and just go around the edges so that it sticks. And then we're gonna close it, seal it. And you want to be very diligent about how you do this, because when you boil them, you don't want them to open on you. And that's what the water is going to do. And if there's some excess stuffing, you can just take it out. No problem.
Yeah, or just do it perfect the way I did.
Can't all be as perfect as you.
Oh, come on.
So now all we're going to do is we're going to turn it around, and then we're going to fold the like ears, the two together, and we're just going to make a little shape like that. And that is the way pelmeni should look.
Now, can you imagine? Like, we sell this at our restaurant, Greenwich, which is in Greenwich, Connecticut. It's called Greenwich and Delancey, and we sell these, and people order them a lot. Like, it comes with like 18 pieces. So just imagine standing there all day in the kitchen, just making these, just batch after batch after batch. Because also they freeze, like I said, they freeze really well, so like, you know, you can have them for a while and they will still be fresh.
Yes, it's quite labor intensive, but it is therapeutic, I think.
And you feel good?
I do, yeah.
Our boiled water already ready on the side. We have our pelmeni. Now this doesn't take very long at all, a couple minutes, and then you're good to take it out. So, but just keep a close eye on it.
Yes, make sure you salt the water before.
flavor. Yeah.
We put these in the fridge for about 3 to 4 minutes just so that they firm up a little bit. Makes it easier to cook. We're just going to toss them in there. Yeah, maybe a little more salt. You want it to be kind of cloudy, the water. That's how you know that you put enough. You just give it a mix, make sure it doesn't stick to the bottom. We're just gonna take these out, use a slotted spoon.
Oh baby, those look delish.
Yeah, they probably are. So we're gonna save half for boiled, and the rest we're gonna fry.
Which is my favorite way. I like it fried.
I actually like it boiled. I don't know, fried. I like the crispy texture, but I don't know. There's something about the softness.
I like the crispy texture and inside nice and soft. Nice little surprise. It's like, oh, this is gonna be something else, and then it's all so nice and soft inside.
Okay, so now that we're done with that, we're just gonna get this.
Now we're gonna fry half of these.
Gonna get our oil in. Just gonna pan fry.
You could deep fry them if you want.
Yeah, you could, but then don't boil them.
Yeah.
Anything a little more.
Oil. This pan is sticky.
Okay. So how many pieces?
You just eyeball it, just like
Yeah. Okay.
split it down the middle, like you know the guy, Noah.
Yeah,
Not
I know.
Noah, Moses.
That's just the water. Kitchen is a dangerous place.
It's true.
Okay, so we're gonna fry them for about 2 to 3 minutes, just until they're golden brown and crispy. Shouldn't take too long. Okay, so these are just about done. They're beautifully golden brown. Nice. Very nice.
I'm getting so hungry looking at that.
Me too. Okay. Okay.
Those are ready to come out.
We're just gonna put them on some paper towel.
Yeah. Just drain a little bit of the oil out.
Always check to see which side is prettier and then serve it on that side.
True.
Okay.
Alright, so now we're ready to plate these. So for our boiled,
Traditionally, some people eat it with sour cream and vinegar. Some people only vinegar, some people with only sour cream. I like it with sour cream, and I don't think it needs the vinegar, but it depends who you ask. I mean,
I completely disagree. I think the vinegar is like the kiss on top. You know?
fair enough. So why don't you add it then?
Well, actually, I like to go sour cream.
Oh, you go
first.
sour cream
I go sour cream
first. Aren't you special?
Because in my brain, it's like I wouldn't put, I don't know. It's like the same thing that happens in my brain where like someone puts like the milk before the cereal.
It's not the worst thing in the world.
Put a little bit more.
Yeah, beautiful.
Beautiful. Just gonna add a little splash of vinegar.
You can always add a little bit more.
If you like a little more pain in your bites, then I would say put a little more vinegar.
Yes. We're just gonna mix that up a little bit after we add some of the dill. You don't have to cut it, just kind of rip it, mix it up.
Rip it.
Yeah, beautiful. Just a little bit more dill on top. Okay, and now for the fried, you don't want to mix it with the vinegar and the sour cream because otherwise it's going to get soggy. So you're just going to put the vinegar and sour cream on the side. So you'll have your vinegar, your sour cream, and of course, our favorite garnish, a little bit of dill. Okay, so there you have it. You have pelmeni two ways, one pan fried and one boiled, served with delicious sour cream and vinegar, and a little bit of dill on top, just the way our grandmother would make it. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Chef Elon.
I'm Chef Tolan.
And this has been
Keeping It Kosher.